Download Tarang online radio app from Google Play Store.
So the Prime Minister of India has talked about the electrification of motor vehicles. And where do you see the German participation coming from and how committed Germany is?
I really appreciate the commitment of the Indian government to introduce electric mobility. This is the same decision the German government took, and we lean heavily on the German industry in order to provide the solutions for the early introduction of electric mobility. But we must be realist. It's not the day after tomorrow. It's not possible in a very short time frame. We must simply see that we live for some time longer with combustion engines. And that's the same for Germany and for India. And so we need to early introduction of Bharat 6. We need to honor those companies who provide solutions to deal with Bharat 6 with incentives. We must look into road safety, etc. We must not forget the transitional technology, and that's hybrid cars. We must not leave them out, because we can't sort of overjump transitional technologies and go tomorrow to electric mobility. So we must not forget, as a transitional technology, hybrid cars, and then, of course, have incentives in order to introduce electric mobility as soon as possible. Here, German car companies have the technology, they're providing these cars, and they are providing automotive parts in order to allow this. But here it's very important to see, increasing tariffs for import doesn't help to achieve an early introduction of electric mobility. If companies want to test the market, they need to be free to introduce electric cars in India, to test the market, to induce customers to get used to electric mobility, and then you facilitate the easing of the establishing of electric mobility in India as well.
Sorry, in April, Bharat 6 is going to be implemented in India, which is just around a couple of months from now. And where do you see the German companies in competition with French companies who are a little bit ahead, it is being said in the industry. They're a little bit ahead in the electric car market. So do you see a competition coming from French companies?
I would contest immediately the French companies are ahead of German technology at all. If you go for electric mobility in cars, and you can ask Dr. Bräunig on the details on this, the German technology is your choice.
Do you think that the
on behalf of the German automotive industry, if you look at those markets, for example, in Europe, where the e-mobility is due to many public subsidies running up, the German automotive industry has more than 50% market share in e-mobility cars, like in Norway, like in Netherlands or Sweden. So you must look at the capacities of industry. Germany is producing in Germany 5.6 million cars, exports 77%, and is producing 10.8 million German cars outside Germany. So look at our strong commitment for India here, the Germans, as well the component companies and the big OEMs here in India as well. So we provide the solutions for the Indian industrial strategy and are here for closer cooperation with India.
So you mean to say that...
I recommend you to go to Noida. I was there yesterday. I looked at an e-bicycle, bike, a very fast motorbike. You can look at this. You can look at the e-cars of BMW and Mercedes and Bosch Motors, and you see the technology that is readily available to be introduced in India.
So my last question will be very logical, will be, are you prepared when India is going to roll electric vehicles in a big way pan-India?
Yes. And you look at Greater Noida, what, for example, Daimler or BMW have launched yesterday. They are strongly committed in e-mobility also to provide to the world. It, of course, depends on many frameworks like charging infrastructure to come up and to convince Indian consumers as well. But we are on the road, and you will see up on 2019 a huge amount of new electric models from all German car makers for all over the world. So this kind of increasing cooperation, we are here. This is why the German government strongly supports this common German booth and why the German ambassador to Germany is present here, which is a great honor, and support us.
Do you see that there will be a dip in the combustible car and there will be a profit of your premium car of Audi and BMW will see a dip in their sales once the electric car comes into in a big way in India?
I do see worldwide that there is a switch in automotive car models, but there is in no one market in the world only one solution. So you will see a variety of powertrains, but the switch to more electrification is the clear line. And even when our car makers say in 2025 we will provide, let's say, 25% of our car fleet electrified, then of course there is still a huge amount of cars provided with combustion engines, and it's the combination of both to provide to every single market the right offer.
As the Honorable Ambassador said, that it is $500 billion component industry which is coming to India as terms of export to India. But do you see there is a change when the electric component for the car and the electric car comes in? How will that, have you done your calculation, how in next 5 years, what will be the rise in business in terms of electric cars alone?
It will be a great transformation process for the entire industrial world, not only for the Germans, but for your Indian component supplier companies as well. It will move many, many business cases, and all the hybrid cars, which means you have a combustion engine and an electric powertrain in one car, will help to transform this industrial challenge.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
हम हैं तरंग ऑनलाइन रेडियो वर्ल्ड। Download Tarang online radio app from Google Play Store.